Time for some e-learning with Miss Atkins. E-learning with Miss Atkins. E-learning with the puppy. E-learning with Miss Atkins. Yeah. What's up, scholars? We're going to talk about triangle congruence proofs. So we've alluded to this topic a little bit before. You may have heard things like it's the toughest part of geometry, and that's not totally inaccurate, but it's going to be fine. Okay? It's going to be totally fine. So the whole point with a proof is that you have a reason every time you say something. It's a rigorous proof. You're not making any statement without facts to back it up. Okay? Every time you say something, you have to have a reason for it. All right, so let's just jump right in with an example. All right, so here's our example. It says, given the diagram, prove that triangle JLK is congruent to triangle MKL. Okay, so let's think about this for a second. I'm not writing anything down. Think about this for a second. There are 4 different ways to prove triangles are congruent, right? That we've talked about. It could be side, 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 angle, side, angle, side, angle, or angle, angle, side. Those are the 4 ways we've discussed about how to prove that triangles are congruent. So, let's look at our picture. So far, we have a pair of sides that are congruent. We have a pair of angles that are congruent. And we see that we have shared side as well. So that will be marked. Shared side will be marked. And when we do that, so I'm not marking it yet, so we can write this out fully together. Maybe I'll mark it in a pencil. I normally hate pencils, but this is what they're used for, right? When you need to erase things. So we're going to mark that shared side congruent. And then let's cover up one triangle, see what we got. We'll have side, angle, side. So we're going to use that as our final reason why these triangles are congruent. Okay, so that was the thinking process through that. And see, now I don't have an eraser. Such is life. Cool. Oh gosh. That looks terrible. Anyway. These are things. These are things. This is fine. Everything's fine. Great. Alright, so I said we're going to have a reason for every single statement that we write. To make sure that happens, we're going to organize our work in a statement and reason column. Statement and a reason. Anything that is in the diagram already, the reason will be that it is given. So let's start writing some stuff. We see, like we said, we had a pair of sides that were congruent. So we could say side JL, segment JL is congruent to segment MK. Why is that true? Well, it is given in the diagram. Given. And what else was given in the diagram? Well, these 2 angles were given in the diagram. The fact that those were congruent. So, angle JLK, that's this one here, angle JLK is congruent to angle MKL, that's this angle here, MKL, and that was given in the diagram. And then as we talked when we were thinking through why these triangles would be congruent, we said this shared side was going to be congruent. Because side KL is part of this top triangle, and side KL is part of this bottom triangle. So what we're saying is that segment KL is congruent to itself It's part of both triangles, and it has to be congruent because it's the same thing. And now let's dig way back into our brains. Why is something congruent to itself? What is the reason something is congruent to itself? Starts with an R, and it's the reflexive property. Reflexive property says something is congruent to itself. So now we have a pair of sides that are congruent, a pair of angles that are congruent, and another pair of sides, because this side KL is part of both triangles, so it's counting as a pair of sides. We've got a side angle side situation. So we know that these triangles now are congruent. Triangle JLK is congruent to triangle MKL by side angle side. Awesome. Look at you! You just did a proof! That's because you're a genius, a scholar. Alright, beauties, let's do another one. Alright, here's our next one. Given this diagram, we're going to prove that triangle OPQ is congruent to triangle SRQ. Let's think about it for a second. Again, we have 4 ways to prove that triangles are congruent. Side, 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 angle, angle, or angle, angle, side. Okay. What do we see in the diagram so far? We've got a pair of angles and a pair of sides. So we're probably not going to use side, 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 because we got a pair of angles here. Those are probably going to be important. We don't have any shared sides like we did in the last question that we were going to mark. We do, however, have some vertical angles. Right? These vertical angles are going to be congruent. And then let's cover up one triangle, see what we got. Oh, this will be angle, angle, side. These triangles are going to be congruent by angle, angle, side. All right, not bad. Let's make our statement and reasons table chart. We are math magicians. We love any type of shortcuts with writing, so instead of writing out the whole word statement, let's just put an S. Instead of writing out the whole word reason, let's just put an R. Sweet. So again, anything we have in the picture, the reason that it's true is because it's given. Okay? So what did we say was given? Well, we have angle O up here, congruent to angle S. And we can actually just name them with those one letters, because that O is not part of any other angle, like it could have been in the previous picture. So we could say angle O is congruent to angle S, and that is given. The other thing that was marked in the picture when we started was that segment QP was congruent to segment QR. QP is congruent to segment QR. We noticed that we had these vertical angles that were also congruent. That wasn't given in the picture. That's something that we said we could mark. So let's mark it now officially in pen, the mightiest of the writing utensils. I hate pencils, man. I just hate them. Ugh, gross. Pens are the bomb. Pencils are poop. Just my opinion. Of course it's the right one. Anyway, let's mark or write that those angles are congruent now. So we have angle OQP. That's this angle here, OQP. Angle OQP congruent to angle, this guy, SQR. Angle SQR, that's this angle up here, SQR. Why was that true?
Well, because they were vertical angles. Vertical angles are congruent. They're vertical angles. And then we said we've got a pair of angles, another pair of angles, and a pair of sides. So these triangles are congruent by angle, angle, side. Triangle OPQ congruent to triangle SRQ. The reason being angle, angle, side. All right, cool. If you're getting stuck on this stuff, the very first statement you ever make in a proof needs to be something that's given. You can't start spouting off stuff with no entry point. So you must start off with something that's given. And your very last statement should be the thing that you're trying to prove. Right? OPQ congruent to triangle SRQ. That needs to be your very last statement. Okay? Again, if you need some more assistance, please come hang out with me at Office Hours. I love seeing your faces. All right, scholars, I love you. Peace. See you next time.